two shared services agreements. So they are both where Yorkville is the fiscal agent. So Yorkville is a fiscal agent for Erica Nisla, who's the school nurse. She does the 5 schools consortium. Her hours are varied, and she tracks her hours. And then at the end, in January, I happen to be the fiscal agent in charge of that too. So I invoice each one of the schools. And then occupational therapy, that's Madison Kempf. She's a percentage at Yorkville, Union Grove High School, and Raymond. And Yorkville's a fiscal agent for those. So just looking for approvals for those shared services.
I'll make a motion to approve the shared service agreements for nurse and occupational therapy.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the shared service agreements as were outlined in this packet for the nurse and occupational therapist. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we move to Act 89 policy approval.
We are looking tonight to make a motion to approve the policies of Act 89 that we had read in last month at our last meeting.
So just to give the audience or anyone watching information, Act 89 is the new legislation that's gone in around required training for protecting our students and our staff in the communications and conduct. And so dealing with particularly communicating between like coaches and teachers and families and kids. So Act 89, I guess some people refer to it as the groomers, the training for the grooming law, which is I think Act 57. So they're related. Act 89 has to be adopted by school districts by September 1st. So we are in compliance with that. All staff will go through required training. And as a result of this training, we are going to be moving to an app called Parent Square for all communications. So we used to use Class Dojo in some of our younger grades, and then older grades were mostly just email or other communications. So to tighten that up and make sure that our coaches have the appropriate avenues to communicate and our teachers have the same avenue, and let's be honest, there's a lot of apps in the world. So to introduce a new app on top of those didn't seem right. So we consolidated, and there's a new app called Parent Square. We sent information out to our parents on Friday about what's coming down the road for that. I think it's going to be really slick and able to communicate very cleanly with our parents. Sort of a controlled social media feed, if you will, where teachers can put information there and only invited guests and members that are approved have access to that. So it's very safe. Many districts around us, let's just say you might want to buy some stock in Parent Square because it's really blowing up with this Act 89 work because it's fully compliant. So that is an app that is being implemented and taught to our teachers through the training process. So tonight you're just approving the expectations that all staff, volunteers, and coaches are aware of how to communicate effectively and appropriately with kids. Yep.
Who does the training? Is it through?
The Department of Public Instruction provides the training as part of the online modules.
Okay.
They did actually get the training done prior to school because we were a little nervous about their timeline, but they did a good job. There are also several attorney groups that have created trainings as well because we weren't really maybe seeing the energy from DPI, but it came out late last week. So we have the training in place for next week when our staff come back.
That software, that Parent Square, is that something that we got to pay for?
Yes, it's a software. Now we were paying for the other, like it replaces our school messenger app. It replaces the what we used to send out for like snow days and how we send those emergency messages. It's also part of it. So it really was a wash. It just consolidated several other small apps like Class Dojo, the additional school messenger app, and then some other apps we're using for communicating. So I think it cleans things up and makes it really clear for our families, and we're looking forward to that implementation.
I make a motion to approve, what am I approving? The Act 89 policies as read in the record in July 2026.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Act 89 policies as read by Mike into record in our July 2026 school board meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We now move to the bus contract update.
Yes, I do have a good update.
Okay,
In that
good.
we actually have we're close to a contract. We've been negotiating with the bus company. All 4 of the feeder schools chose to negotiate as a group collectively for the purpose of being clear and transparent in the costs. We found that over the years, some of our contracts had evolved into different places, different numbers. It sounds odd, but neighboring districts to us had different numbers than us, and that didn't seem right. So we got together with the bus company. They're putting down their increases, and naturally I say increases because there's no decrease nowadays. The increase was large, double digit, and then we were able to negotiate that down to a 6% increase first year, and then a range of 3.25 to 6, depending on the consumer price index that's for the state of Wisconsin. So it'll
How
be
many years?
325, years 2 through 5. We'll have a 3.25, ranging up to 6, capped at 6. There's additional technology enhancements that the bus company will be making to the buses around our cameras and artificial intelligence tools. We are limiting some of those because there was a big cost to those, and there wasn't necessarily a need, but we do have cameras on all of our buses and have had cameras for 5 years. In addition, we also approved, as part of the negotiation, an 8% increase for bus drivers. So again, as I mentioned, the job pays well. We have a vacancy. There's a real need. So that job market is really looking for bus drivers. So there's an 8% increase in that negotiation. So that just came off the press at like 3 o'clock today. So you could authorize me, just vote to authorize me to sign the contract for 5 years, and that's what we're looking for tonight. And Jeff, I don't know if you want to speak at all to the impact, but we've baked the 6% increase once we initially had those numbers a few weeks ago into our budget this year.
Yeah, it's hard to tell like what the actual impact is because they break down the invoice into buses and the fuel price fluctuates per invoice. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be around 15,000 for the entire year as far as the increase goes for the first year. I think I budgeted for an 8% in this upcoming budget. So I'll have to, when I do the next budget, I'll definitely know a more exact number in October. So
Why do we have to do a 5-year contract?
So we do a 5-year contract because they offer it to us in that way. They give us a 1-year contract that's got a pretty large, if you just do a 1 year, it was double digit. They didn't want to waver from that. And then beyond that 5 years, they wanted to sign. So we can start looking at other contracts along the way. We can start to look at companies and things. There's nothing against kicking the tires on contracts. But here's the problem. There's no one, we've gone to RFP before. There are no other providers within our distancing. We did RFP for buses last round, the last 5-year contract, and there were no bids. So in order to keep the services we had, we started talking in June. We had asked them that they start talking to us earlier than that and give us those increases and notice us earlier. So that's why we ended up with a 5-year based on what, the timing of these things and the availability of other companies.
Is the part of the reason for the increase because of the fuel price?
no, I don't think fuel's part of it. They do like a per bus. They do a per bus price. So it's usually last year I think it was $215 per bus, and then if it's 20 days and it's 6 buses, so that's where they come up with like $25,000, and then the fuel price is significantly less. They do that based on I think per day also, and that's usually around 4,000 for the fuel. So the fuel's separate. I'm almost positive.
Their increase was listed to us as increased costs for some of the maintenance on buses. There was again the technology increases, but we limited those. We didn't want all the bells and whistles they were offering. There's quite a few things that are out there now with artificial intelligence that are available, sensors and cameras and automatic things. We felt like that might be overkill for what we needed, given the fact we have cameras. And then it was just the driver wage and increased operating costs. So those are what they cited to us. It wasn't necessarily fuel.
Mike, you had said something eventuality that you needed that many buses, is that still something you're gonna look into,
Um,
or are you just dropping it?
No, of course we'll look into that. We're always looking into our savings. So all of the schools, when we met today, we all agreed we're watching our ridership this year to see, what's going on the bus, what's coming off the bus, numbers of kids, that is. The high school performs differently. They signed a different contract, and they have a whole separate conversation with the bus company. But the 4 schools will be looking at that this year to see not only the ridership, but then also the zones of where they're dropping off and picking up. Our zone of pickup is only so large. It is pretty large for our size community, but we certainly want to get dialed in better on that. That's on us to do, myself and people who are willing to help. The bus company has no interest in that for obvious reasons because we're paying them for 5 buses and that's what they think we should have. So I'll be doing that work this year.
Right? If you're looking for a volunteer, I will volunteer to help you.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of fussy work, but that's what I did.
So it's really important, I think, that we end up examining all the rocks, and hey, if you're gonna do it for us, you should do it for all 4 feeder schools, because we're looking for people. So it's important work that we're gonna dive into.
I just feel like 5 years is too much, because, so what happens if you would, say, 2 years from now want 4 buses? Does the contract written that you cannot deduct buses?
We can change the fleet. We can adjust based on enrollment, so if we needed to adjust the fleet, there's language that allows us to adjust.
And there's no penalty?
No. There are outages too. There are ways we can get out of the contract if all of a sudden they hit us a couple of years ago with a surcharge, like a one-time extra surcharge to increase. Just after COVID, a lot of bus drivers quit. And so when they had a big influx of wage, we had a surcharge that was added and we had to agree upon that. So it amended our contract. We can do the same with certain things. So we are definitely committed to looking at this as a collective group of all 4 of us. Because I think there's a real benefit for us to make sure we have the right number of buses for kids. Otherwise, running empty buses makes no sense. So,
How was our contract compared to the high school?
very different. High school uses a lot of theirs for extracurriculars, sports. They have the whole other branch of this thing. I think the superintendent, Tom, was saying that their busing is somewhere around $35,000 a month. Pretty pricey. Just for the activities and athletics. So, I mean, it gets really, really expensive. So that's why they negotiated theirs separately. I do think there's also an interest, though, too, in us talking about that because we have similar schedules we run, and it's the same DTS, it's the same company. So in the future, we're talking about, collectively all 5 of us doing that. But this round, we weren't able to get that accomplished.
Is it a problem if we wait till next month so we can see the contract?
No, not at all. You can table it. I just wanted to make sure I gave you an update, and if you wanted to vote, we have buses showing up for the first day of school, regardless of what we do with this approval tonight. It's an assumed agreement. We didn't break the agreement, and so we certainly don't have a problem with tabling. If you want to see a write-up and see the numbers, we can do that.
I'll make a motion to table until we see the contract.
What are we gonna learn?
I want to just see it.
Oh, you wanna see the contract?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can add that to our agenda for the finance committee next month.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table the bus contract until next month. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we will move to committee reports. We had no curriculum this month, no facilities this month. Finance meeting that was held on August 12th. Ed?
Well, basically, we went through the numbers that Jeff provided tonight, and we had just a couple of questions, and everything's being very copacetic.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. No personnel meetings and no policy meetings this month. So next is administrative reports. Dr. Leach.
Thank you. We are wrapping up here a very busy summer. Behind you, you'll notice our fridge and freezer are being finalized, so that's a big deal. That's take a look later on tonight. It's a nice little walk-in situation. Our feasibility task force met. Meeting number 3 was held on Monday, August 10th, and had a good turnout, strong turnout again from our members of the task force. That task force is discussing, they learned about the needs of the school and some of the possible solutions for future around the school. We did not apply numbers yet to those because once you start applying numbers, it gets a lot more complicated and you're making choices already. So we backed off of applying numbers to it, but really wanted to get a good sense of what the needs of the building are. The task force information is all posted on our website if anyone wants to check it out. The updates, the slide deck, all of it. It's an open meeting, so if anyone wants to come to the next feasibility task force, when we publish the date, we'll let you know. The reason why we haven't published a date for the next one is because we wanted to do site visits first. We're going to see 2 sites in mid-September. We're waiting to get an exact date. The task force will know immediately, and then we'll post it on our website, social media, etc. If people want to go visit these 2 locations, we're looking at Yorkville, very distant neighbor to us. Yorkville will take us on a tour, and I think we'll have a tour guide that you might know pretty well. His name is Jeff. And then we'll have a tour of the Oak Creek elementary facility that Nexus had described. I'm not sure what the name is. I think it was Cedar Hills or something. And they're a great host to people to see the progress they made in their building. And so those 2 locations would offer us up, and then we would have a meeting there, and then we would have a breakdown, like a debrief on site. So people on the committee would drive to the location, meet. We'll take basically an hour total for a walkthrough, show us what they did, and then we'll talk through and just have a discussion. 2 separate groups. So one group goes to one school, one group goes to the other school, and then we'll consolidate those experiential notes from the lead on those discussions. The goal of that is to see what do we mean when we say fix things and change things and make things nice, because I think seeing it is believing it. So then after that meeting, the task force will get reassembled. They agreed they wanted to see that and then reassemble and learn about some of the treatments and the numbers, the financial side, because any referendum we would be putting on the ballot is going to cost the taxpayers dollars, and we want to know exactly what goes into that. And that group is not deciding the amount, they're not deciding anything, they're advising and discussing, and then the board will discuss and eventually collaboratively come up with a number that makes sense, and the tax implications will be determined, and then the real fun begins of what might go on the ballot. So that's where we are in the process. It's been productive, and I want to thank those task force members who are consistently attending. It makes a huge difference for our discussions. Summer preparations, we are busy. Floors look great. This place is cleaning up. About 2 weeks ago, it did not look like that. If you came in, it was sort of like, what happened in here? But it's sort of the calm before the storm there. And classrooms are ready. We're just counting. Bob sent out his official butts and seats email, which means he's counting the kids that are going to be in your rooms and making sure you have enough desks and chairs and tables and all that good stuff. So that went out, and we're adjusting all of our rooms accordingly. You'll notice, you won't notice because there's storage if you want to peek in a closet. Our closets are clean. We went through again, and last year we started the cleaning, and then we really finished it off this year. We emptied the storage building pretty well, and so a lot of those areas are ready for us to put more stuff into, because like any homeowner, there's always a place to put things. That once you empty that closet, it fills back up. Pizza on the playground was a huge success. I'm sorry, also you'll notice outside, we resurfaced the blacktop. Our high school helpers did that, actually former students of Raymond, and said, hey, I never had a resurfaced lot, but I'm doing this for the kids. And so they did a great job. They realigned our basketball courts and resealed that ourselves. PTO is paying for the reimbursement of that. All the jugs of, it was like, I don't know, 100 gallons of sealer. And so it looks great and looks like a nice little new feature on our playground. So we're excited about that. We're also adding tetherball lines out on the older kids' side, so it's less like a yard they just walk around and stare at each other. It's more like a place to play. We redid the 4 square lines. We putting in tether ball poles and a volleyball net. So that way they have a chance to, and again, these aren't like super fancy, but they're nice and they'll get the job done for kids to do something outside when they're in the older kid, side of the building. So that'll be nice. And again, PTO is enhancing that and using the funds to pay for that. So thanks to Bob and his crew for doing that in-house. It saves us a lot of money and time. Additionally, Pizza on the Playground was last week. Our kindergartners came and it was great. We had all of them here and many showed. I think we were only 2 or 3 that didn't show. And we knew they weren't coming because parents had reached out. So we have great parent participation, a lot of kids excited about school. Some of the parents wanted to just see if they could leave their kids here and just go home without them, but we said not yet, still give it 2 weeks. But it was really exciting, and our kindergarten team, Ms. Kostrava and Ms. Chadwell do an excellent job of just making kids feel welcome, helping families feel like they're ready for school. And then lastly, our meet and greet, the 3rd annual community picnic will be coming up. We're doing a tandem event, so it's our back to school night and the community picnic, same day, same night. 4 to 6 is the meet and greet, 5 to 7 is the picnic. I want to encourage those members to come out and join us at the picnic. The picnic has sponsorships again this year. We have our PTO is a large sponsor for a lot of the food costs. Tyra is working with us to have their crew come and do all the work for gratis, just on their own, because Tyra's great. We have, again, fruit donated by Marchese. We've got other items being donated by A&W, as well as some other local places. So it's, again, going to be a fun event. Come on out, check out the school. You'll see lots of action here on the 26th of August. It's on our sign if you're wondering when it is. So I hope you can attend. And then I want to just also take a moment and introduce a new person to our team. Over the summer, Miss Marty moved on to greener pastures. She ended up moving to a local district in a different role. She is a reading specialist now in Waterford, and we certainly wish Dana the best. She did a great job with us here. But we, in the meantime, had some big shoes to fill, but I think we found a good person. So Miss Beth Woodward, was recently hired, and she's here tonight just to introduce herself to the board and the community.
Hi, my name's Beth Woodward. For the last 3 years, I was the principal at St. Rita over in Racine. Before that, I was on the south side of Milwaukee. And I actually worked with Mr. Genovese on the north side of Milwaukee in a former life when I was a music teacher. But I've had a lot of different experiences and a lot of different roles in school, so that I feel like that gives me a good systems level perspective, and I'm eager to pitch in and help out here in Raymond.
Thank you.
You have the most talented administration besides Mike. So we'll have to put on a concert for everybody one of these days.
For the record, I played baritone in high school.
Oh, okay, we can get you a baritone.
Here we go. So we got a baritone, a bassoon, and a cello. Trumpet? Oh, wow, we got a little band here. Okay. Sounds like a showcase. Yeah, that's right. So welcome, Beth. We're excited.
I did her that. Welcome, Beth. Board comments. No board comments?
Just a quiet month.
It was quiet month.
Nothing really going on.
Okay.
Vacation.
I want to thank the PTO. I mean, they seem like they're really doing a lot recently, and they're a really great team, so.
Well, our PTO has talked a lot about using the funds that they raise with kids that go here. And it's hard when you have a playground fund that's growing and it's becoming healthy. That's wonderful, but how long before it's used? And so we're trying to give small give backs. One of the things PTO voted to do this year too, thanks to some good recommendations from some pretty astute staff members, they're going to be giving every student a yearbook, buying every student a yearbook this year.
That's really cool.
That's a new thing that we really feel like is a great give back. So the all-in is about $5,000 worth of yearbooks, but there won't be any confusion over did I order one, because there's always lots of confusion about that. Because parents like myself are like, I think I did. I think I ordered like 4 and then I ordered none. But we're really happy that they're able to step up and give back to every kid because they want their impact to be felt, as well as all the recent playground stuff. So kudos to PTO.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, Jenny, for bringing that up. Any announcements or correspondence? Yes, no? Nothing? Okay. So, our next workshop will be held not on the first Monday of September, as that is Labor Day, but it will be the second Monday. Is that second Monday?
Second Monday, yeah, 14.
Yeah.
That's, what is that, 2 weeks
14th
after
and the-
school starts? School starts the first, right?
So our board workshop is scheduled for September 14th at 5:30 PM.
Is there a task force meeting that day?
The task force meeting will be after that meeting, so it'll be sometime probably the week, those days after.
And our next regular school board meeting is Monday, September 21st at 6 PM. Please note that our meeting times have changed to 6 o'clock now. And with that, that will conclude our business for the month of August for a regular school board meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:47.